Hi Scorpio, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. Make sure that you subscribe down below so you won't miss any further videos. So this is going to be for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I'll also be doing an extended video, and I'll leave the link to that in the description box down below. So when I was meditating on your energy, I feel just sleepy, kind of like drained, tired. So some of you could be feeling low on energy right now. But let's see what the cards say. 3 for the past for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The Star card, healing. Eight of Wands, okay. And the Devil. So with the Star card here, I feel like in the past you had to go through some type of period of healing, or you were seeking out higher knowledge of a situation. The Star card is the card of Aquarius, so it's like Aquarius energy of trying to see the big picture in a situation, or trying to see it from a spiritual standpoint. And that also is related to healing, because once you're able to see something or a bad situation from a higher standpoint, then it helps you to release the pain of it and to heal more quickly. So I feel like some of you were in that energy in the recent past. The Eight of Wands is also here. So the Eight of Wands talks about very fast moving energy. So you could have had a conversation with someone, or had a very, I don't want to say altercation, it could have been an altercation, but it's just more so like messages going back and forth that are very passionate. So like I said, it could have been an altercation, it could have been a discussion, but there's a lot of energy here. So this could be between you and someone that you were romantically involved with, or a friend, family. It can be any of those. Like I always say in my videos, take it as it resonates. So I am getting the energy of you, like I said, either sending out messages or someone sending you messages, and I feel like that plays a role in your healing, especially if you were expecting some type of closure is what I'm seeing, because the Eight of Wands being here, because it's not in the reverse, because it's in the upright, I feel like the conversation may have been positive, and if it wasn't positive, then it was at least something that was able to help you move into this state of healing is what I'm seeing. For example, if someone, let's say someone left you for someone else, you'll never fully get closure from that, because you know, no matter what you do, or no matter what they do, the truth still remains that they left you for someone else. But if they were to message you and not explain, but kind of let you know, like, listen, there's nothing wrong with you, I just needed to move on with my life, like that would be much less painful than just being ghosted. So I feel like you might have received a message along those lines, or some type of message where it gave you some type of relief, but I feel like the situation still didn't end the way that you wanted it to end. So the Devil card is also here, and it's in the upright. So that talks about attachment to lower energy, to things that kind of keep us stuck and stagnant. It can talk about addictions. It can be an addiction to a person as well. So I feel like whatever the situation was in the past, it was something that was, excuse me, it was something that was kind of toxic, or something that was dysfunctional, or something that brought out the side of you that you needed to heal. So when it comes to romantic partnerships, especially with you being a Scorpio, because your partnerships are so intense, it usually will bring out the worst of someone else, or the worst in you, so that that energy can be transmuted, and so that then there can be healing and evolution. And that's why Scorpio in the tarot is the Death card, because it's like you constantly being reborn, like having a spiritual death, because you were exposed to a part of yourself that needs healing, and then healing it and being born into a new cycle. So that's what I'm getting the energy of. And that could be you or the other person, because like I said, when it comes to Scorpio, it usually is an obsessive dynamic, just because of the ruling planet of Pluto, which rules Scorpio. It can be their relationships can be very intense and a bit obsessive, possessive, and things of that nature. So the Devil energy usually does show up in the type of relationships that Scorpios take part in, because like I said, it's transformation for both people on both ends. And that's not to say that because you're a Scorpio, you're always going to be involved in toxic, dysfunctional relationships. It's just kind of the nature of the sign. And it's not a bad thing, because if you can reveal this energy to yourself and stare at yourself, at the darker parts of yourself or the worst parts of yourself, then you can handle anything at that point, and you can transmute that pain, heal, and stop living so much in fear. I'm trying to get the messages in my head together. Like I said, it's like, I don't know, it's like I'm feeling drained, and I already felt drained, from doing readings, but I feel like the energy I'm picking up is more so yours. So it just looks like you're exhausted from whatever has happened, and having to face yourself in the mirror can be very exhausting, or having to face someone else in the mirror and come to terms with who they are as well. Okay, so I feel like I'm rambling. Let me go on to the present cards. The Ace of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. The Emperor card also wanted to pop out, and the Knight of Cups in reverse. If some of you were waiting, oh look, your card comes up too. If some of you were waiting for an offer to take place and it didn't, I'm seeing that it didn't happen because it wasn't meant to happen. With the Death card, like I said, there's spiritual transformation, and sometimes we can't go through that transformation while certain people are in our lives, so they have to walk away, or we have to walk away, in order for this transformation to take place. Even though it's very painful, it's very necessary. So the the Ace of Cups is also here in the present underneath the Star card. So I feel like what this is saying is that in the present, you're becoming aware of a new beginning, or you need to become aware of a new beginning. Some of you could actually be starting a new relationship, but if not, it's like this new, I want to say newfound freedom. Some of you could have felt imprisoned by a situation, which makes sense because the Devil card is here. So a lot of you could have felt stuck or imprisoned by a situation, and in the present moment, you are feeling like you're finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's kind of like your healing work is paying off, is what I'm hearing. And because of this, you are in the process of having a whole new stable beginning. Even if it's not with another person, it's within yourself. I feel like this is also a reminder that the type of love that you give to other people is important to give that type of love to yourself, and to treat yourself the same way that you would treat the partners that you love and adore. You have to adore yourself in that way. So I feel like that is kind of like, not a warning, but advice to anybody who may need it. And then the Seven of Pentacles is in the heart of the reading. So the Seven of Pentacles, who got the seven? Someone else got the Seven of Pentacles. I always forget with these readings, like after I do the readings, I actually have to rewatch them because I never remember anything that I said. So the Seven of Pentacles has to do with planting seeds in order for them to sprout. So for example, if you want to have a nice body, you would start to plant the seeds by actually going to the gym and working out time after time and doing it consistently. And you don't sit around looking in the mirror every single day like, okay, did I lose weight? Did I gain weight? Did I build muscle? Because you're not going to see it within a day's time, and you're not going to see it slowly but surely. It's one of those things where you plant the seed, you put in the effort, and then one day you just really wake up and realize that everything that you planted has come into fruition. But if you just sit there and watch the seeds, like after you planted them, and like watch them 24/7, it's going to feel like it's taking the plant forever to grow. So I feel like what this is saying is that whatever you have planted seeds into in the past, it's time to step back from it and allow it to grow. And I feel like some of you are doing that. And that could have to do with a relationship for sure, because when it comes to relationships, sometimes we forget to not exert too much energy, to just do the best that we can, and then kind of detach from the outcome and let that other person put in some work too. So if you had to walk away from a relationship, or if you just feel really passionate towards someone, I feel like it's saying that it's not the time to necessarily try to pursue them. I'm getting a couple mixed messages. I feel like it's saying it's not the time to actively pursue them. You've already planted those seeds. You've already done as much as you can do, and now all you can do is sit back and wait. And that doesn't mean that you put your life on pause. That means that you continue to plant seeds elsewhere, meaning that you continue to plant those seeds now within yourself and watch those seeds grow. So, like I said, I'm getting a few mixed messages, but for the most part, I feel like it's a reminder of you to not exert too much energy. Do the best that you can, and then just kind of let go and let God, you know? Don't try to control the situation. Don't try to, just don't try to control the situation. That's what I'm getting. The Seven of Pentacles also talks about discipline and hard work, I'm getting. It doesn't always mean that, but sometimes I interpret it as that. So being very disciplined and working hard at whatever you are passionate about. But I feel like you have already been doing that. Because Scorpio is such an intense type of sign, whenever you become fixated on something, you do put a lot of energy and effort into it. So just make sure you're becoming fixated on the right things, on things that are going to help you to grow instead of things that are taking from you. So the Four of Wands is also here, and it's underneath the Devil card. Oh my goodness. Okay. The Four of Wands paired with the Devil card is a bit of a disturbing. It's not disturbing. Okay, let me take that back. It's a bit bothersome at first glance because basically what it's saying, because the Four of Wands is usually the card of like a happy home. It's also the twin flame card, or that's how I identify it, because in the traditional tarot, the way the wands are positioned, it looks like the number 1111. So, like I said, this is usually the twin flame card to me, or the card of just having a very deep attachment to someone and wanting happiness or wanting long-term family with them. And for some of you could actually have a family with this person, or you could have been living with this person. But with it being in the present underneath the Devil card, I feel like you may have wanted that with someone who was just bringing out the worst in you, or someone who you were bringing out the worst in them. But again, I feel like that's a good thing, because when the Devil energy shows up, it's showing you what you need to heal. It shows you what you're a slave to. Like if you're a slave to love, even though that person's not treating you well. If you're a slave to procrastination, even though you're supposed to be getting things done. So the Devil card, when that energy comes up, it's just a reminder, or it's warning us that there's something in our life that is controlling us and not in a positive way, and that it needs to be released. But because that's in the past and the Four of Wands in the present, I am hoping, I'm not sure about the message I'm getting fully, it's kind of staticky, but I'm just hoping that a lot of you have already come to this realization, and now you're kind of turning your sights onto the future and what you really want. So it's like that past situation taught you what you did not want in a partner, or just in general, because like I said, it doesn't have to be romantic. And because you now know what you don't want, now you can identify what you do want and manifest it. I feel like this whole present row is about manifestation, about knowing that once you plant the seed and there's emotion behind it, then inevitably whatever that is going to come into fruition, whether that be good or bad. So like I said, when you plant a positive seed and then you detach from the outcome because you know you've done everything you can and you know that you're in alignment, then eventually that will manifest into your life. But the same goes with a negative seed. So I was watching a video that I feel like is a perfect example. It was what he said in the video was, if you planted a daisy and then you planted poison ivy and you watered both of them are going to grow. So that means that if you plant seeds into something positive and into something negative, they're both going to grow. So just plant the seeds into something positive. I hope that I explained that right. I'm just like, my energy is just off. I'm just a little bit like jittery. So I think it's really time to reevaluate, like I said, what you want out of life and what a long-term, healthy, committed, stable relationship would look like to you, and hold that vision and that image in your mind. Because like I said, once you think it and then you feel the emotions of it and you put the action in, then it has no choice but to manifest into your life. So I actually want to clarify. I want to clarify that Four of Wands and that Devil card. Five of Cups. Oh, wow. Okay. The Five of Cups is the card of grief and mourning. So I feel like there still is a need, or you are still grieving the loss of a situation that was toxic or that kept you stuck. You could be also grieving the loss of yourself, is what I'm hearing. Kind of like you lost yourself within the connection or within the situation. So hopefully this energy is turning around, because it is in the center of the Four of Wands and the Five of Cups. So that could very well mean that a lot of you have taken yourself out of that Devil energy, took the time to grieve, and now you're in the Four of Wands energy, meaning that you're ready to look for something more healthy and more stable, that you're ready to manifest abundance into your life. But if that's not the case, then that's what you're being advised to do, to give yourself a grief period, not to the point where it's consuming you for too long. Give yourself just enough time, and I feel like you'll know the difference, because you'll start to just feel like, okay, I'm not crying anymore to help myself, or it doesn't feel better to cry now. It just feels like I'm in a rut. So I feel like there definitely is a need to grieve and then move forward or face forward. That combination of 3 cards is really kind of disturbing me, honestly. But yeah, that's the energy that I'm picking up. And then at the bottom of the deck, the Emperor card is here. So this again talks about needing to get into alignment and needing to basically practice self-control and self-discipline. And I want to say, like, I heard like policing yourself, but that sounds really harsh. I wouldn't say policing, well, yeah, sort of policing yourself. Like whenever you're about to do something that you know is no good for you, or that you know is going to hurt you in the long run, then refraining from doing that. And that takes a lot of discipline, like I said, especially when we're used to a certain pattern or habit. It's important for us to be conscious of everything that we choose to do throughout the day, because we can easily fall back into that old pattern or that old habit of feeding negative energy. So let me read the middle card, the Seven of Pentacles, out of the book, because the Seven of Pentacles is in the heart of the reading. For all the readings, I've been reading the center card. So let's see, Seven of Pentacles. So, Seven of Pentacles, it says keywords: fear of loss, fear of failure, obstacles, and groundlessness. So, the meaning of it is, accompanied by Saturn in the constellation of Taurus, a woman falls into an abyss. We have fallen prey to our doubts and our fears. The old ways of dealing with things no longer work, but we have not yet found new ways of surmounting obstacles. We feel weak and powerless against the forces, even though we are not. Saturn, however, is our friend, giving us the keys to our own growth. Though it can feel like and truly be destructive at first, allow the process of unfolding to happen. Repeat the mantra, I grow, to fill the void. So, like I said, there is a need to relinquish control of a situation and understand that it is for your highest good. And again, that is the nature of Scorpio energy, is kind of like the phoenix being set on fire and then rising from the ashes. So let me pull 3 for the future outcome that we will look at in the extended. Seven of Cups. Knight of Wands. And then your card is in the reverse. Okay, so we're going to look at these in the extended. But the Seven of Cups is usually a card of having a lot of options or being confused. It just depends on which cards come out along with it. So I'll clarify that in the extended. The Knight of Wands in reverse also comes out. So this energy usually talks about a lack of action, kind of like a standstill. So that doesn't necessarily have to be positive. I'm not picking up negative or positive energy for it at the moment, but we'll see in the extended. And then the Death card in reverse. So the Death card is your card, and with it being in the reverse, I feel like in the near future, this is an energy that you need to watch out for kind of like disconnecting from yourself. This could also be about like escapism, like you not wanting to face your problems head on. But like I said, I will clarify all of those in the extended. So I will leave the link to that in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you over on Vimeo. Bye.